Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ben Dixon here. Very excited to welcome you to our live stream on Unpacking the third generation of referral marketing software, a candid review. I have a special guest to bring onto the call today as we talk back and forth about what third generation referral marketing is all about, and that's Mr. Mark Stevens. Mark today is a sales executive at NaXum. We get to work together on a daily basis, serving companies, which is just a ton of fun. But our relationship didn't start there. Rod Kirby, our founder of NaXum, was a distributor years ago before we even founded NaXum in a direct selling company in the telecom space. And when he was just the young direct selling entrepreneur taking notes, at the big events, the gentleman at the front of the room and his beautiful wife who are training tens of thousands of people in this organization was Mr. Mark Stevens. And so
Yes.
our relationship goes back to the 90s. As I bring Mark out to share a bit of his story, he then moved to create his own direct selling company, and over the last 10 years, built a company called Trevo to a $50 million valuation, and he's since sold the company. He's just a total wealth of knowledge inside of the space. And so as we move into unpacking what we call the third generation of referral marketing today, I wanted to have Mark here to share his real life experience and what this journey is like. So Mark, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Oh, it's been great to work with you, Ben. And, this experience in the referral marketing industry was life changing for me. And so I had always owned traditional companies, and I had friends that were always trying to get me into referral marketing. I was like, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And I remember I finally said yes. I went to a meeting, and a person was saying at the front of the room, and they were giving their presentation. They were making quite a bit of money, a six-figure monthly income. And I was sitting there looking at them thinking, my God, if this person can do it, why can't I? So I took a leap of faith. We joined, and we talk about, I think one of the important things, talk about belief. And I remember my first commission check was $100. Now, understand, I own two large companies, so $100 was nothing in a monetary value. However, I came running in the house because remember, when we started, you got paper checks in the
Yep.
mail. I got that first check. I came running in the house screaming that I got that check, because when I saw that check, I knew it was real. And I knew that if I could earn that 100, I could turn that in to thousands of dollars, which we were able and blessed to be able to do. And through our journey, my wife and myself, we then owned our own companies, and we experienced the other side of direct sales, being sitting in the owner's seat. And that was a experience that has left us with great memories and cherished relationships that we've been able to make, but having, again, another way to make an impact on people. And this is why I joined direct sales, is because I love people, love helping people, and want to see people win. And I think in my years of experience in the referral marketing field, that has been the thing that has been the challenge for me, is how can we improve where we can let more people win instead of it only being a few? Why can't the masses win? And so that's why I'm excited about what we're doing here at NaXum.
And I just love that. As you hear Mark's story today, and as he unpacks, hey, my journey from being a traditional business owner to then earning as a referral partner in a direct selling company, then owning my own direct sales business, that evolution and just that story of creating that income is the whole reason why NaXum exists. At the end of the day, Rod, our founder, myself, and my role, Mark, we actually all have a very similar story that all three of us started building our own groups in the field in direct selling. That was where we all got our start. And the part Mark's speaking about of the getting the $100 check in the mail, he's right on that it wasn't about the amount of money. It was that this is possible. And we call that feeling the magical power of referral marketing, when you're earning off the efforts of others, earning off of having your own home-based business. And the whole why behind NaXum, as we start to unpack this third generation of referral marketing technology conversation today, is this idea that we love to inspire and reward billions of business souls to gamify their life, to share products and services they care deeply about, so they can experience the magical power of referral marketing. I want to give you a timeline. So Rod and Mark were together way back in 1992, right? And moving forward up into 1999, Rod left the field and went to building actual marketing platforms in the space. This is an important distinction because you got to remember in 1999, there was no real technology. The internet was just becoming new. I mean, Mark, in 92, gosh, to get your downline report, you'd have to like ask for it to get faxed to you, right? I mean, you literally just reams of paper coming out of your fax machine of like, here's your downline report to try and figure out who to coach and what to do. And so when we talk about the third generation, what we're speaking to is really this timeline. And this slide says it all, is that when we first left faxing orders, and gosh, I was a faxer too, gang. My first six-figure income in referral marketing was faxing at orders. Literally, the accountability we had was a conference call at 8 a.m. every day where you would get on the line and tell your team, hey, I made this many phone calls yesterday. I did this many demos. This many folks showed up to the hotel meeting, and I got great aspiration for today. That was our accountability system. Right. But I remember the beginning, Mark. I mean, I know you do too. It was replicated sites, right? Generation one was replicated sites. And it always felt to me like it was like, here's your link and good luck, right? There wasn't really anything else, right? Man, but it truly did change the game in incredible ways. And what we're going to be talking about today is that it's evolved over time. I mean, I remember when Facebook became a thing that was more than just like meeting friends at college. I happened to be a college kid when Facebook came out, and in the beginning, it was just meeting friends for parties. And in 2010 and on, it became very evident and real that social media was something so much bigger. And what Mark and I have called the second generation of referral marketing technology is when direct sales, network marketing, MLM, referral marketing companies decided, hey, let's give you content to share. So here's an image, here's a landing page, here's a video, share this and get people to your replicated site. And good luck. And what the third generation is, and what we're going to be unpacking today, what Mark and I will be talking about today, is this idea of creating a predictive system, going one step further. And not very many companies are in this part of the space yet today, but going one step further than giving people content to share on a replicated site, and going one step further into creating a predictive system that feels like a top leader sitting next to you, suggesting what to do next. And the high level thought as we unpack it today is that if you do that, if you create that type of experience, not only will people be able to do those things, but you, the company, will be able to get the insights on what they're willing to do, and out of what they're willing to do, what's working. And now, Mark, I know you've had this pressure for years of running Trevo. Like, what is it like managing the field and their requests and their expectations as they want you to change things? Like, just for people who are thinking about opening a direct selling company for the first time, like, what would you have to share to them about like the opinions of the field when you're running a business today?
Well, you start a company because you want to help people and you want to serve people.
Yeah.
And the more the company evolves, leaders begin to raise up. Then you begin to sometimes become in friction in what a leader wants, what a company, what their vision is, to keep the vision clear of why you started your company, what your purpose is, how you do business, what your culture is. And so in the past, you really didn't have the pulse of knowing exactly what was going on in the field without just asking a field leader what's happening, what's working, what's not working. And as a company, you were kind of in a blind spot of what was really going on. And so with the new platforms that are available through NaXum, now there's a transparency of what is actually happening in the field. So the company is now empowered to know exactly what's working, what's not working, and who's working and who's not working, because you then know how to make the adjustments in your efforts, in your content, and in what you're doing. And so from where I was sitting, as these technologies developed, they are life-saving. We didn't have at that time, where we had the data like you provide now. It's a game changer for a company to be able to do, but it's a game changer also for people in the industry that are leaders to really want their company to have a platform like this, so they have the information and the data to be a better leader in helping their people win. And I'm just all about winning, about people winning in this business. And so that's important, because I believe things shifted over the last years. I mean, referral
Sure.
marketing, what we refer to direct sales today, referral marketing, when the gig economy came along, everything's changed.
Mhm.
And now, because of that and regulations, we have to make sure that our product is first and that we're a product first company. And now referral marketing is about relationship building. It's about building relationship. And now we've got to build relationships with customers. And the companies are now involved in building those relationships, which we weren't in the past, really. We were just building relationships with the distributors. So we have to create real, authentic conversations. And that's what I love about our platform is we teach people how to create an authentic relationship and conversation, not an awkward one, which
Yeah.
is what most people have experienced is they start out, they don't know what in the world to do, and they have these very awkward conversations. I don't know if that happened to you, but it sure happened to me
Yeah.
when I started out as a
All
distributor.
the time. Yeah.
Now we teach people it's just natural. It's just part of your life and how you have a conversation.
Well, and gang, we didn't get here. Many times you think it's not some one moment of inspiration that gets you to a next generation of technology, gang. It's by seeing the fruit of other pieces over time. So when people ask us at NaXum, like, how did we get to this idea of third generation referral marketing platforms? Well, it started because we weren't even a traditional MLM software provider in the beginning. Like, we were marketing systems, we were sales tools to help you grow your business. And in 2013, when we invented Unify, the idea was that instead of having 4 or 5 different software providers for your total platform, what if you could have just two? What if you could plug in marketing systems and commission platforms into one single system where the company could just focus on growing the business and selling, and the back office, the what we call virtual office, the marketing platform, the commission engine, the shopping cart would all be in one place. And it was only once we got that done that years later, gosh, it was 5.5 years later that we realized, oh wow, some of these companies in the space have 4 or 5 different mobile apps, and it's just confusing. It's like really challenging for the new person to know what to do next. And how could we bring that all together in one? And that's where the predictive action engine was born. It was this idea that if we could sit down and think through the triggers and the responses and what it would be like to have a Mark Stevens sitting next to you in your living room as you're promoting coaching, I like to say next, what would that look like? And how could we plug people in into a world where mentors don't always spend as much time as they used to? Like, one big part of my success story in direct sales and Mark's is that we both had people who really cared, who opened up time, their most valuable resource, to help us do this business. I had a brother-in-law who spent just untold hours with me for 10 months training me on how to do these things in this business. And today, when somebody enrolls somebody else in a business opportunity, whether it's affiliate marketing, influencer marketing, network marketing, direct sales, not everyone spends the time needed to transfer knowledge, transfer ideas. And that's why more than ever today, predictive systems that feel like that great leader sitting next to you, what to do next, make all the difference in the world. Now, Mark, we talk about this all the time with clients, this idea of a raving fan progression. And how important is it to have a tribe of people who are actually here for your product and not just a business opportunity when you're growing one of these brands long term?
It's everything. I mean, it's everything. I've made the statement before to you that customers buy because they love the product and they don't want to live without it. Sometimes, if it's just based on a distributor, sometimes, unfortunately, distributors buy because they're trying to reach a qualification of some type. And so, understanding, as I said, things have changed. We're now product focused,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about people having an experience with our products. So
Yeah.
we have these fabulous products in our industry, and getting customers to have that, what we at NaXum call that wow experience, where wow, this product is important for me, to
Yeah.
makes a difference in my life.
And that's so natural. I call this graph the raving fan progression. And what I love about when Mark and I teach from this is it's this idea that what we're really focused on is take people who have never heard of your company before and just turning them into happy retail customers.
Mhm.
Because if we do that, it takes care of everything else. Because out of that group of retail customers, some of them are going to be passionate fans. They're going to love you so much that they're willing to share you with others. And yes, you can have a customer rewards program today to incentivize them to refer their friends or to incentivize loyalty. But there'll be a portion of the people who are such super fans of you that if you create space for it, they could even become a promoter. Whether you're creating an influencer program or a direct sales company or a referral marketing company, you can, whatever flavor of that type of promotion program of how that compensation is structured, there's people who are such great fans of you as they become a bigger and bigger fan, they participate at a deeper and deeper level. And the second principle to understand is your viral growth is going to come down to your speed. Now, speed's an acronym that unpacks the 5 things you have to do to build any business in referral marketing. And at the end of the day, and Mark can share this with you too, this is very true. One of these 5 is throttling you, no matter which level you're at. It's one of these 5 always. You could be doing 100 grand a month, a million a month, 10 million a month. And when we zoom out, one of these 5 things slowing us down every time, So we're going to look at today what it would feel like to share in a 3rd generation system, how it would feel to present in a 3rd generation system, how it would feel to enroll others, how it would feel to elevate and train people, and can new people duplicate that process? These are the questions we ask. Now, Mark, many times we talked about earlier on the call, we get all caught up in thinking about the top 5% or top 10% of people who are going to go get us sales. And one of the things that's key to the 3rd generation platforms is understanding that everybody needs to commit to daily habits and do just something every day so that you win in the business. Now, if you're watching this for the first time and you haven't thought about daily habits, you could read James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, or if you've ever used apps like Noom or MyFitnessPal in your life to get your fitness game on, you already know what these games are like. But where Mark and I in the past would have done daily habits and taught daily habits and then gotten on a conference call to tell people we did them or entered them in a Google sheet in our teams in the past. What you do today in Gen 3 systems is you have people commit to daily habits, to how many people a day they're reaching out to, how many people a day they're following up with, how many minutes a day they're going to spend growing their mind and their beliefs. Because if they don't believe it to be possible, it ain't ever going to happen for them. And how many times they're going to share on social media. And when we do this, we reframe the entire conversation of building a referral marketing business with people being committed to winning the day at whatever speed they're at. Some people are going to be committed to only reaching out to 2 brand new people every day, and some are going to be committed to 10. And people have different speeds because they have different goals. And when this happens, gang, the homepage of your virtual office could literally be the top 10 people in the whole company who are on the longest streak of hitting their daily actions. And then the top 10 people on your team that are on the streak of hitting their daily actions. Some of you have special comp plans like binaries where you'd say the top 10 people in your left leg or top 10 people in your right leg. It can get really fun to know who on your team is taking action and winning the day. Mark, what have you seen with winning the day and creating this conversation versus just ranks and rewards for motivation?
What it does is it creates a path. It creates a path for every person. So when they start developing their business, they have a path to run on. And, in the past, you started and it's kind of like, you're just, here you go, hope for the best that you do well in your business. And we also have to understand that the majority of every person that joins a company, they have a job, they're working, they have family commitments, they have other things. So they have a limited amount of time. So we organize it for them. We get it all organized. They just have to push the buttons and do the activities.
Yeah.
And so it's really, they don't have to really do a lot of thinking and strategy. They just have to plug their contacts in and begin to share the information and do it. And like you said, some people are going to go faster, some are going to go slower. It's up to them. But the important thing is you have to do something. So you can't wish for success. You cannot hope for success. You've got to do something to make it happen. And so now I love this part, because I'm all about accountability. And so I love this part because as a leader, I've sat in a leader's seat. If Ben's on my team and he says, Mark, the business isn't working, whatever it is, he has to tell me. Then I'm going to say, well, I'm going to be able to look and say, well, Ben, you haven't done this, or this. Where did you think the success was going to come from? Or as a company, they're going to, what is happening so that the activity that's actually being done. And it's just, it's right there. Do this. And one thing about Ben that I think is important is in the communication on the daily habits is that there are so many depth to it. It's not just say this and then, it's like
Hmm.
if they respond with this, then come back with this, or if they
Yeah.
give you this objection, come back with this. So there's
Yeah.
so much depth to these daily and the responses that there's
Yeah.
nothing like it, and it
Yeah.
just really is. So it's empowering to me that an individual, and it's a win for the company, and it's a win for the field,
Yeah.
because now the company is providing everything you can provide, and the
Yeah.
field then has what they need, and it allows the company to keep a pulse on what is working and what is not working, so they can help make adjustments to the content and messaging, so that that next new person, it's even better.
You know what I love about what you highlighted there, Mark, and it's one of those truths in business that's through any tribe. It's that like results is all that count in the sense of, so many people who are young entrepreneurs live in fantasy. We've had books that are well intended that have been twisted a bit in our culture. Like I remember when The Secret was the hottest thing
Yeah.
ever, and people are like, well, The Secret, you got to visualize it to achieve it. And they're right. If you cannot visualize success, you cannot achieve it. Like if you don't believe success is possible for yourself at the end of the day, like you're not going to achieve it because you're not going to take the actions required to make it a result. But the one part of the book and the movie, The Secret, that got twisted for so many people was the law of action, right? Because and they say it in there, but people gloss over, right? So it's not just the law of attraction and visualizing your future, but it's also the law of action of doing the work required to achieve the result. And there's other books like Grant Cardone's 10X rule that have hammered that through our society of just saying that, hey, for most of us, we underestimate the amount of action it's going to take to accomplish any goal. So why don't you set your targets 10 times higher so that you at least achieve your targets? And that's a powerful conversation to have. And the whole idea of daily habits is getting real about that. Our clients, we let them set minimums on these habits, right? So you can't win the day with zero reach out. Zero is not the minimum, right? It's two, right? So you gotta pick those minimums. And by people committing to minimums daily, now we're moving forward. And of course, we're going to show them their longest streak versus the streak they're on today, or their consistency. Hey, look how you've grown. You're only hitting your goals 1 day a week 12 weeks ago. The last 8 weeks, you've been hitting them 3 days a week. The last 4 weeks, 4.5 days a week. Hey, that's a marked improvement. Way to go. But the magic is unlike weight loss apps where you're entering in how much water I drank today, how much exercise I did. We're going to focus on the things we can track by them actually taking action in the app. So when someone taps and syncs their phone contacts, we've been intentionally moving away from the spammy approach of like, hey, check out this video, best prices on CBD below. Right? I mean, how many of you have gotten a CBD or collagen text message that's like, oh my gosh, check out this fantastic collagen, text this below. Hey, oh my gosh, check out this Forex training, check this below. I mean, we've all gotten those messages and it's just spammy. What we've done is structured it in a way where we've said if you are reaching out to a friend you hadn't spoken to for 6 months, 10 months, what what would you say to them to re-engage them? And so the system itself is customized to your culture. But here's just an example from a skincare company. I'll give you an example. Hey Josh, how have you been? How's your family? That's what it's prompting me to say to a friend I haven't talked to in a while. Right now I can edit it if I want, I can erase it and record a voice text if I want. But the system's prompting me with, hey, touch him this way first. Say, how are you? Right? You think, is it rocket science? No, it's not rocket science, but you don't just pitch your business in the first message. The algorithms then track actions you take towards others and actions they take back towards you and suggest what to do next. Many times you can have, a confused mind does nothing. It's a line Mark's taught for years. I love that. The confused mind does nothing. And and again, if people have to look at reports and decipher data to know what step to take next, they get lost. And the whole point of having these algorithms is that we show them, hey, these are your top 3 relationships to follow up on right now. And if they tap the file, we'll suggest what to say in that given moment. We'll say, hey, this is what they did last, say this next. If you flip over to member view on the top, we'll say, hey, these are your top customers, your top team members, and what to say next. And they can take action to do that, or they can tap and flip over. Joanna hasn't ordered in 45 days. She's running out of product. You tap the follow up and it says, hey, Joanna, how you doing on product? I'm putting in an order for a couple of my customers. I was curious if you needed any more, right? Simple stuff, gang. But let's walk through the conversation with Josh real quick. So Josh says, doing well, haven't seen you in a while. The system then prompts you to say, I was thinking about you yesterday. I just started my own online wellness store and was looking for 4 to 5 testimonials for my Facebook page. Was curious if you'd be game to try one of my products and leave me a review. Your friend's going to say what? They're gonna say, "Oh, congrats on starting your own store. Awesome." And then you'll say, "Awesome. I have a link for you to create a free account. If I send you the link, do you have a moment to check it out?" He says, "Sure do." And you say, "Perfect. Here's my link." Now, you got to get this, gang. Many of the clients, and there's 30 plus companies now using predictive actions outside of our other clients at NaXum. In many of these companies, gang, are not even prompting somebody to send a link to somebody else. They'll message 4, 5, sometimes 6 in a sequence of a conversation. And Mark alluded to it earlier. One of the pieces that's magical is because of the technology, we know if they open the link or don't open the link and suggest what to say next. Many times people get stuck with an objection, like conversations don't go perfectly, and they're messaging their sponsor. What do I say if somebody says this? What do I say if is this a direct selling company, or I don't have money, or I don't have time? What do I say? And I mean, Mark, how many countless hours have you spent text coaching somebody in your life who says, "What do you say when somebody says that?" Right? Like, we giggle
Yes.
about it because we've probably spent enough hours to get 3 master's degrees just helping people overcome objections. And so there's triggers in the system where if someone sends an objection, you tap that trigger and it walks through how to handle it. And that's the idea, is that they're never alone. They don't need their sponsor in this moment. They can handle it. Now, the same thing is true of social media sharing. It's your responsibility to fill up a library, gang, of images and videos and suggestions of how to post in social media that are compliant. You have to take the stance today more than ever of modeling the appropriate behavior in social media. When they use our tools and tap and share content in social media, it'll actually look like they were the one that created it. It won't look like they're sharing it from the app. And the feedback we get through the insights tools is not only which assets they're willing to share, but out of those assets, which ones are actually getting people to your website. Huge, 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 huge. I'm going to bring Mark out in just a moment, but before I do, the last sharing piece I want to highlight is blogging. There's been a major challenge with blogging over the last few decades since WordPress became huge in our space, gang. And the problem is, if the company puts out all this blog content, none of the reps want to share it because they don't want to lose their lead to corporate, right? Everybody wants credit when they share a piece of content so that they can earn the commission from that sale. So at NaXum, we've solved this. We've taken WordPress blogs and built banners on the top and the side, linked back to that affiliate. So if that person taps and shares, whether you're doing influencers or affiliates or ambassadors, when they tap and share your blog content, their friends read the article and then are redirected to their version of the landing page, not somebody else's. Now, this is a big deal because if you haven't thought about your web reputation or SEO, SEO is run by recency, relevancy, and backlinks. And so if you're posting great, recent, and relevant content, you could have 50,000 of your salespeople or 200,000 of your salespeople tapping and sharing your blog articles. That's backlink power, baby. And you're going to start to rank all these great articles all across the web, right? That is saying you guys are great. And many of you are missing that part. You're spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars with companies to SEO and keep your web reputation clean, and you could just have your own field sharing your blog content. Huge point. Now, when people come here, the key to the online sales pages and landing pages, gang, in these systems today is that someone who's never heard of your brand before needs to be able to watch a video or fill out a survey and be in the place to where they want to at least try your product. Mark, what have you found are just best practices when telling a story about a product or a service for people to keep in mind of saying, hey, let's build a culture where people are just inviters and don't have to tell the story. So what would you say to companies that are looking at setting up a page like this?
Well, one thing I have to kind of regress just a minute
Yeah,
because there's something so important here is that
yeah,
through the process you're showing of conversations and sharing information, the biggest challenge that people have run into when they start a business is they say too much too soon.
oh yeah.
And they just, I always tell people, you get in a company and you're so excited, and we're glad you're excited, but you're going out and you're just telling everyone, it's like you're telling a stranger your life story. You're 50 years old and you're telling your life story in 10 minutes, and they don't even know what hit them. And this is a progression of information. And so relationships take time. Where the relationship is, it takes time to develop. You have to be intentional about doing it the right way. And in this day and age, with this type of a platform, you're not looking to recruit people anymore. You're looking to gain customers, and through those customers, your team members will emerge naturally. That's what I love. I tell people, let the business be a lifestyle, a natural process of your day-to-day activities of what you're doing, and that way you're modeling something that others say, I can do that. And so so you have to be so careful the way you share, the way you do things. And so the platform gives that process, and being able to share your product in a dynamic way. Now let the company, the video, the post on social media, which just one little tidbit there is that through the platform there, when you post a social media post, it's posting native, not sharing, so more people are going to see it, which is a really very cool thing. But let the information that has been developed, the content, let it do the talking for you. And we always, it's pointing to that information, and letting that be the star, instead of feeling like you have to be the expert. You don't have to be a product expert. You simply share your experience and let the content be the expert.
And again, you got to hear that. So if you're the one running the direct selling company, you're the one creating this referral marketing channel, that's the type of culture you're creating for these independent promoters. You're not expecting them to be good salespeople. You're not expecting them to be something they're not. If you expect them to just bring trusted relationships to the table and you do the rest, you'll be satisfied. If your expectations are different, you're going to be concerned. It's not going to be what you thought. And that's the level of content needs to be here. If someone just brings their trusted relationship to the table and says, check this out, there has to be enough meat on the bone for someone to be able to make decisions and say, I want to try that product. When they do, inside of our technology, we'll send a text message and an email right away to the person who referred them, letting them know they have a new lead. And then we'll take them right into the shopping experience. And we have a beautiful shopping experience that walks them through subscribing versus buying one time and checking out here inside of the process. Now, at the second step to people who don't buy at the first part of the process is webinars. So in the past, we used to do tons of hotel meetings and one-on-ones and seminars and anything we could do to share messages. Today, we're all in such busy remote lifestyles. Webinars are key parts of meetings, right? There are meetings. Now, Zoom and Facebook Live and YouTube Live have taken over the culture of our world, and Microsoft Teams. And the big challenge you'll know if you do meetings like that is you have no idea who invited who, right? Like, Mark, what do you always have to say if you're on like a normal Zoom meeting like this when you want to sign people up at the end? What's your call to action? What's the best darn thing you could say?
You would say, get back with the person that invited you to this call and let them help you get started.
Now, Mark and I are both cringing and laughing at the same time because we both had to say that thousands of times. And by saying it, we know that we're failing the newest person on the team. And here's what we mean. And it's why it's very important to unpack this thought. When you're building a referral marketing tribe and you want to do all these presentations and events, if the best call to action you can have because of your technology is get back to the person who invited you to get started, you're failing the newest person on the team, because Joanna, who's promoting your company, did everything you said to do. She got her friends from school on the line. She got her friends from soccer, her kids' soccer practice. She got her friends from church. And at the end of the presentation, you told them, hey, Joanna's going to lead you to the promised land. Get back with her and she'll get you started. But gang, Joanna doesn't have a story yet with your company. Joanna just got started this week. Joanna doesn't know the questions to ask to get them signed up or enrolled. She barely just got enrolled herself. And so we fail the Joannas of our world. So what we do that's so different at NaXum is we build these replicated landing pages, these replicated live stream registration pages, so that we text the Joanna saying, hey, your guest Marcy is on the line. Your guest Tammy is on the line. And then the top field leaders, your top people, do the presentation on behalf of everybody. And at the end, they do not say, get back to the person who invited you to get started. They say, hey, if you'd like to join our team today as a micro influencer, click on the join us button below. Hey, if you'd like to just try these products and become a customer, and before seeing if the business opportunity is a fit for you, click on the shop now button below. And so what we've done is created a culture where the top field leadership is closing on behalf of the person who invited their guest. Now hear that, right? They're closing on behalf of them. This is what Mark was talking about. Not needing to be a seller, right? Not needing to be the person who's doing all of the content creation, but just being someone who just follows the steps and brings their trusted relationships. This is what it takes. So powerful, powerful piece. Mark, anything you'd like to add to Done For You closing, just as a culture for everyone?
Sure. Just thinking
Yeah.
about this, I was thinking about in the sports arena, you're
Yeah.
at football and you want to win the championship.
Mhm.
You're not going to have the backup quarterback playing in the field to win the championship, are you? You're going to have the
Nope.
star quarterback
Yep.
there. So the great thing is, if you win the championship, the backup quarterback, they still get a ring if they win. They're still part of the
Yeah.
win. They're a part of that. And the thing is that now your star presenters, people
Yeah.
who are platform people that know how to present, know how to share the product, and know how to share, open people up to thinking about their potential, their possibilities of what they can create through becoming a part of the business. They're going to be front and center for everybody, because when they win, everybody wins.
Mhm.
And it also will take a lot of burnout of leaders, because Ben, you remember those days? I remember when I first started, I was doing three-way calls, 4 or 5 hours every night, traveling every weekend. And you're what? Now, because of technology, leaders have it made. They can do a great presentation. Great leaders always available in a company, and everybody gets to benefit from it. And so there's nothing, to me, this is one of my favorite parts. This live events part is, it really allows the company to really shine, because they have their A players there, and then everybody gets to benefit from that, including the A player, because guess what? The people inviting are on your team
Yep.
a lot of the times. And so you get to do all the presenting for them, and the closing. Closing is an art. And it's a blessing for people to be able to have that available to them.
One huge note from Mark is that he just shared that I want to make sure everyone heard, is that there's two camps right now in referral marketing technology on live events and the strategy of it. One camp says we should be doing thousands of live events each week and teach every person to be good at live events and have them all do them. And in that camp, your leaders end up creating a job for themselves where they're doing 3 lives a day, every day of the week, and it leads to burnout, gang. Oh, if they want to go on a cruise with their spouse, God forbid they go on a 10-day cruise and miss doing the lives for 10 days, and the whole team's volume goes down because Josie wasn't available to do her 3 live streams a day. So we hear what Mark's saying. What we have found builds sustainable viral growth is creating a calendar of leaders taking turns. The leaders have no problem working. That's not it. But it's seasons, gang. People need seasons of thriving and seasons of harvest and seasons of rest, gang. So what if you could tell your leaders, hey, you know what? Josie, you're an A player, total platform player. We want you to run these every day for the next 2 weeks. And then you know what? We're not going to ask you to do another one for 6 weeks. What if you had just 4 superstar leaders where it could be 2 weeks, 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 2 weeks. Do you see that kind of lifestyle? Like their team's thriving, growing, dominating, winning, and they're 2 weeks on, 6 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 6 weeks off. Like, yeah, they're going to be ready for game time when you set them up like that. And they're going to love you because you're the community they can thrive in. Now, in addition to all that we've shared, we then track action points inside of the community. Every time someone makes a phone call, shares on social media, follows up, they earn action points. And I love this because when someone calls their sponsor and says, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do to grow the business, it just doesn't work. You can pull them up and say, Toby, like, Toby, I love you, man. Let's take a look. And you might look and say, oh my gosh, Toby, you've been watching all these training videos and haven't called anyone. No wonder you're not ranking up. Like Toby, let's go dial together. Let's go do this. Or you pull up Toby and say, Toby, man, you made 120 phone calls last week and nobody went to the website? Like, what are you saying on the phone? Like, Toby, let's practice real quick. Can you, here, I'm your prospect, practice with me. Like those raw, candid coaching moments that are so healthy, that are always many times missing from referral marketing companies, are just the lights just shining on them. They're evident when you use action points. And I love this because everyone always thinks they're working harder than they really are. And everyone says, yeah, how are you doing? Are you doing the work? Yeah, I'm doing the work. They always say they're doing it, but to know they're doing it is a big deal difference. We have a client here at NaXum, Mark and I, that I was down in Peru with. I won't say their name, but they're about 20 countries, and they were really proud that, every time they put a video on Facebook for training, they get, 10,000, 12,000 views. And they were saying, well, why aren't we doing such a good job training our people? And I looked around the room and said, guys, you are a bunch of gorgeous Peruvians. Like, when people are on Facebook looking at pictures of their grandkids, of course, they're going to stop for a second or two and watch the beginning of your 12-minute training video. But how many people are actually finishing the 12-minute training video? And the room was just crickets. It's just completely silent in the boardroom. Because the truth is, platforms like YouTube, Facebook, we have no idea how many people are actually finishing the content. And the truth is, people are on those platforms not to get trained on their business opportunity, but to have fun or relax or whatever they're doing. And so what we have realized is we need to keep training off of social media and into the space of the company's app, and create it in snackable ways where people can get rewarded with gamification and badges and points for actually accomplishing the training. So just as an example, this is one of our clients, Wealth Space. You can see here they have their first 30 days. They teach people to invite others to dinner, and they sell their products at dinner. So that's right. These guys are all about hosting big dinners at great restaurants and buying life insurance. So wonderful folks in the space. But you can see here, Tom Lee, their CEO, has a training called Your First 30 Days. In that training that's in his app, he walks people through what to do in your first 30 days to be a successful wealth spacer, right? Inside of their X Pro app that we built. So this is just an example, gang, of snackable content that people can watch on their own from their device and get badges and rewards for finishing. You'll notice the technology will have no fast forward or rewind button when people go through the first time. We want them to actually consume it all the way the first time, and we're rewarding them for being finishers of content and not starters. Now, Mark and I were just talking about this morning. Like, it's not enough to just have training, but it's about building a library where people are in there daily for just that 10 to 15 minutes a day. Mark, why is it critical that companies go all the way into building an environment where people are learning daily and not just one time?
Well, it's just like eating or breathing. You have to do it on a consistent basis if you want to live. And I was sharing today with you about,
Yeah.
we at NaXum, one of our part of our culture is we read books, and we do that on a daily basis. And when you do it daily, because when I first started, I didn't do it
Hmm.
daily, and I didn't get the same benefit. Now I do it
Yeah.
daily, so I get that daily feeding that inspires me, that opens up my mind, that builds
Hmm.
my confidence and my belief system. And so doing that daily, those daily habits, they make all the difference in the world in our life. We do it just every day. We do those steps that we need to do, and it creates it creates those habits that turn into habits that then turn into results. That is what we're all looking for in whatever it is in our life, whether it's
Hmm.
our health, whether it's our business, whatever it is, we want results. But results do not come in any area of life without daily habits that build one upon the other, day upon day, week
Yeah.
upon week, month upon month, to get the results that you want.
Yeah. It's all about reminding that belief system. Just like Mark's saying, gang, everybody's hits all these messages every single day on their mind as they go through their world. And if they're not refreshing their mind with daily beliefs that it's possible for them, they're going to fall out of the game. That's a big part of what the X Factor is. The X Factor is our LMS to become the best version of yourself. So our learning management system to become the best version of yourself. You are the X Factor in your business. So everybody has the same opportunity when they join your referral marketing company. The only difference is who you show up and choose to be and the results you create. And so that's the whole message of X Factor and them unlocking that. And so we've used that type of language for our clients inside of training materials, and it works inside of the space. Now, gang, on the back end of these systems, the whole magic for you as the company is when you have the triggers and the sequence and schedule action set up, you get accountability, you get the real insights. Hey, these are the text messages people are willing to send. These are the ones that are working. Hey, these are the ones that are creating casualties, right? Your members are sending every message on WhatsApp and Facebook DM and everything you thought they should be sending. And guess what? It's not working. The person's not moving forward. So this is kind of a heart check, gut check for the marketing team internally of like, oh man, we got to fix the messaging right there. Like that doesn't work. And what I love about this, Mark, too, is with our international clients, as we've been unpacking this, is sometimes you're building in America in English and in America in Chinese and in America in Spanish all at the same time, right? So these are families who live in the USA, buying products in the USA, but in 3 different languages. We have this amongst our clients. And I find that the stuff that works the best in Spanish is not the same words in English that are killing it translated into Spanish. The stuff that works the best in Chinese is not the English words translated into Chinese. It's different. And so we might see this like award-winning path in English that's like just crushing it, getting product samples out the door and people going to webinars, and then we translate it into Spanish and it just falls flat. And and so I love the accountability of culture and what people are actually willing to do and what's working in our system, because I mean, you as an executive get to then make decisions about that, and you get the authentic feedback of, oh, that's what's working. It's same gang for tech for, oh my gosh, for sharing in social media. So many times I am amazed by what actually works on social media and what doesn't. Most companies start with product images, and images of happy customers, of thinking, yeah, let's share pictures of happy customers and product images, and that's what'll work in social media. And you might load up 300, 400 images, assets, shareable pieces, and the system will show you, oh, these are the 40 that people are willing to share. And out of those 40, these are the 18, actually getting people off of social media and to your website. And so you'll get that raw feedback. And we found just silly stuff through this that up front, you wouldn't believe it, but then you see the data. Like, good example, we have clients who sell Forex trading software. So you would think maybe pictures of charts or pictures of some guy or gal with 6 monitors trading, a come to my workshop mastermind would be the thing that would get you to click off of social media to go to their landing page to attend their free webinar about trading Forex. And it was last year we had Baby Yoda memes and memes from Jim Carell in The Office, or Steve Carell, Jim and Steve, actually. We had both those guys in there. So Steve Carell's character and then Jim's character, um, like converting higher than the picture of the Lamborghini and the 6 screens, right? So it's not always what you think it to be. And you got to test enough stuff. I mean, some of you in wellness products, you're gonna get higher conversion off social media with people sharing memes of Jennifer Aniston from the show Friends, than you are gonna get of a picture of someone holding your wellness product. And you don't know until you test. That's it.
Ben, the thing about content is, there's two things that is the responsibility of a company. Number one is to provide content, and the content that works. And in the past, you really didn't know. I think of my own company that when I was developing it, we would come up with these wonderful things for social media, and we just thought they were fabulous and everything. Some of them did not work, and we thought they were great. We just figured it must be people weren't using it right, but actually content wasn't the right content. And now the company can see what is their testing, what really
Yeah.
is working and not working, and you didn't have that before. Now you say, okay, this is not working, take that off, let's test something else, and then when we get something that's working, run with it and
Yeah.
get it to go. And the second thing is you have to provide the how-to, the how-to's right there
Yep.
with the platform of how to get to success. Because when you talk about belief is built through experience.
Yeah.
And the platform provides the experience for the person and the customer, where the experience is good and the results come faster, because the more results you have, the more your belief grows and you become more passionate about your company that you're representing, and you want everybody to know about it. And that's what you want, is you want people on fire. And there's nothing that puts out fire faster than not creating success and not having the right
Yeah.
content or the right platform to be able to build a business.
And that's exactly it. Drawing attention to success and that people are doing it. We spoke earlier about showing lists inside a virtual office, like top 10 people in the team winning their day and top 10 people in the company winning their day. And, as you dig further into these third gen systems, you know, you think about what you're competing with. I've heard complaints over the years from clients of, well, no one even logs into the back office anyway, or, well, no one even uses that tool anyway. And I say, you know what we're competing with for attention? Like, you think about Twitter. Someone can take their finger on their cell phone and go like this and get a dopamine hit of like something new that's fresh that happened right now. Or YouTube, they can go, this highly produced content that would have cost tens of thousands of dollars to create, like just boom, right at the top at their fingertips. And it's unlimited. It's unlimited. And so you are competing with unlimited excitement and beautiful content all over the world, gang, for your members' attention and time. And so if your stuff's not relevant and recent, like if you're not updating these libraries on a weekly basis of fresh images to share and new trainings to watch and everything else, like you can't expect to populate this thing once and just enjoy viral growth for the rest of your time as you ride off into the sunset. It takes building a team around platforms like this today in the third gen systems who's constantly adding the fun stuff. Here, oh, what events coming up next? Is it Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day? Well, how can you make a bunch of content around that that makes it fun and relevant? So as people are sharing, it's simple things like looking at the calendar and what month is it? Okay, what are the major holidays this month? How do we create a bunch of content that kind of pokes fun at those while we are, creating relevant stuff for our people to share? It's that stuff, gang, that makes all the difference in the world. For those of you that would like to meet one-on-one with Mark and I, the website to go to is www.naxumtour.com. That's NaXumtour.com. As your next step, we've loved sharing with you what third gen systems are like today and unpacking what's next here inside of direct sales. We're in the middle of drafting the 2023 direct selling trends report right now and unpacking all that we've learned over the last year and what we see for next year for you. It'll be available for download soon. If you're not on our newsletter list yet, go to www.naxum.com and subscribe to the newsletter list so you can get a copy of that when it is released. Mark, I just want to pause and say thank you so much for spending this hour with us today and sharing on the session. It was an absolute pleasure to have you here. And I'm looking forward to meeting with people who get a chance to check out this information today and digging into what they have next for their vision.
Absolutely. We look forward to serving you and making sure that you have the best platform that can serve your people.
All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.